Well, the International Court of Justice is set to begin hearings later this week after South Africa filed a case against Israel, accusing it of violating the Genocide Convention in its war on Hamas. Joining me now is Sparked Online's chief political writer, Brendan O'Neill. Brendan, what a ridiculous waste of time all of this is. The US has hit out about it. What on earth is South Africa playing at?
I think South Africa is behaving disgracefully here. This is not a genocide. This is a war. And by the way, it's a war that Hamas started with its unprovoked attack on the civilians of Israel on the 7th of October. It is a grotesque lie to accuse Israel of genocide. And I think actually it's even worse than that. We're witnessing an inversion of morality because it was Israel that was attacked by a genocidal terror organization on the 7th of October, and yet it's Israel that is now being accused of genocide. It was Israel that was subjected to this fascistic assault, and yet it's now Israel that has been likened to the fascists. It was the people of southern Israel who were subjected to the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust, and yet everywhere you look, it is Israel that is being compared to the architects of the Holocaust. This is an inversion of reality, an inversion of truth, and an inversion of morality itself. And I think South Africa should be ashamed of itself for bringing this case, and all its cheerleaders in the Western media should be ashamed of themselves too. They're projecting the sins of Hamas onto the victims of Hamas, and that is really out of order.
Indeed. Now, USA Boxing is facing a backlash over its transgender policy, which would allow male boxers who transition to fight in the female category from this year. I mean, it's bad enough having these trans women who go into swimming and athletics and all this other stuff and break individual records, but it's another thing entirely when it comes to a combat sport. You're going to start throwing men, biological men who've grown up with the testosterone coursing through their bodies, bigger hands, more strength, all of that, and you're going to allow them to stand in the ring with women. What could go wrong?
It's completely insane. This is surely the most insane stage of trans activism so far. People will say that USA Boxing's rules are quite strict. So, for example, if you're born male, you have to have full gender reassignment surgery. You have to prove that your testosterone is quite low before you can fight against a woman. But as you say, puberty gives the biological male huge physical advantages over women. Larger muscle mass, denser muscles, longer arms, larger hands, larger heart and lung capacity, more strength. All of these advantages come through the process of puberty, and they don't go away just because a man, when he hits the age of 20, starts taking some estrogen tablets. So this is a case where it's almost like we are legalizing gender-based violence. USA Boxing is basically making a sport out of male battery of women. I think this male invasion of women's sports has got to stop. Born males are stealing medals from women in cycling, swimming, track and field, and now potentially in boxing too. Leave women's sports alone. No one who was born male should ever take part in a women's sport. That's my view.
100%. And no one who was born male should be going around beating up women either. I thought that was a pretty straightforward one.